Okay, so we got our 9.3 notes. Simplifying and multiplying rational expressions. All right, this is where you're going to have to be really good at factoring. If you're good at factoring, this is going to be pretty easy. All right. Now, this warm-up, if you want, you can stop the video and do it on your own. I'm going to just do it real quick. I'm going to do it by reducing things, cross-reducing. All right, so if you want, pause it, because I'm going to go right now. All right, so the way I would do this is this. 4 and 8 are both divisible by 4. So 4 goes into 4 one time, so this 4 becomes a 1. This 8 becomes a 2. All right, 3 and 15 are both divisible by 3. So 3 goes into 3 one time. 3 goes into 15 5 times. And now I'll just multiply. So I got 1 times 2 gives me 2. 1 times 5 is 5. So my answer is 2/5, and it's reduced if I make sure that I do that. All right, but you can multiply across and then reduce it. It gives you the same answer. All right, I'll show you that on this one. We got 2 times 9, which would be 18. 3 times 10 is 30. And now we got 18 over 30. 18 and 30 both divisible by 6. All right. So we divide 18 by 6, and it gives us 3. And we divide 30 by 6, and it gives us 5. So you can do it either way. And you get the same exact answer. All right. Number 3, we're factoring this. Again, factoring out the GCF. So let's see, 10 and 5 both divisible by 5. X and x squared both divisible by x. So I would factor out the GCF, which is 5x. Divide 10 by 5x, and we get 2. Minus, divide 5x squared by 5x, and we get x. So 5x times 2 minus x. All right, 5x times y, 2 minus x. And that is what it would look like factored out. All right, this one should be an easy one for us. We should be real good at these. 3 terms. All right, no leading coefficient. So we do 2 sets of parentheses. X is in the front. Last sign's minus, so signs are different. Now we just need the factors of 48, that when you subtract it, you get a 2. And that would be 6 times 8. And 8, the bigger number, always has to go with whatever the sign is. So 8 has to go in with the minus sign. So the 8 goes here, 6 goes there, and it's factored. All right? So that was your warm-up. Okay. Here's your notes. Rational expression is simplified when its numerator and denominator have no common factors. All right, so that's all your answers must be simplified. All right, so we're simplifying this one. Well, the 15 and the 5 are both divisible by 5. So this 5 becomes a 1. This 15 becomes a 3. So we're left with 3x over 1, which is just 3x. All right. B, this one's already simplified. You can't cancel this out because this is an x plus 5. The only way you can cancel anything out of that is if you can factor it out. If you can't factor anything out of it, then you have to have exactly an x plus 5. So this one is actually already simplified. All right. C, start with the numbers. 6 and 14, they're both divisible by 2. So 6 divided by 2 is 3. 14 divided by 2 is 7. And then x and x squared, well, we can cancel this x out and get rid of one of these, which would still leave us with 1. So we'll have an x in the bottom. So there's our answer, 3 over 7x. And again, all I did was reduce the fraction. All right. All right, there's a U-try. You guys can go ahead and do the U-try. Take a minute to do it. Pause the video if you want. I'm going to continue on. All right, example 2. Example 2. All right, so what can we factor out of this top? Because we have a plus sign, we have to try to factor something out of it. Well, they both have a 2, so we can factor that out. They both have a pi, so we can factor that out. Both of them have at least one r. This one has 2. So we can factor out 1r. All right. So now when I factor that out of this, this leaves me still with an r, because I only factored out 1, right? And then I factored a 2 pi r out of this, and it leaves me with an h, so r plus h. All right, over pi r squared h. All right, so what we can do is we can cancel out a pi, and we can cancel out one of these r's. So we get rid of this one, and we get rid of one of these, so it leaves us with r. So in the top, we're left with 2 times r plus h over r times h. Now notice you can't cancel these out because this has a plus sign. All right? So that's how you would do that. You'd factor something out, and then you'd see what you can cancel out of what you factored out. Okay? All right. So you got another you try. All right? So you can go ahead and try these. All right? See what you can do. Reduce them if possible. All right? And then I will send you out the answers for that. All right. Example 3. We're going to multiply, all right? And you can do this the same way you do fractions. Now, I've been told in the past that you guys like it better when you just multiply across and then reduce. So if we multiply across, we got 4 times 9, which gives us 36, x squared times x, which gives us x cubed, over 3 times 8 is 24, x times x to the 5th gives us x to the 6th. And now we can reduce. 36 and 24 both divisible by 12. So this becomes a 3 and this becomes a 2. So I have a 3 in the top and a 2 in the bottom. And then x to the 3rd over x to the 6th. Again, I have 3 of them in the top, so I can get rid of all 3 of those. And I have 6 of them in the bottom, so I got to get rid of 3 of those, which would still leave me with 3. So, and again, they're in the bottom. So I get 3 over 2x cubed as my answers. Again, all these have to be simplified. So again, the answer is 3 over 2x cubed. All right. This one, I mean, once I multiply 6 times 9, I'm going to get a pretty big number, but see, this one I like reducing this, but let's multiply it out. All right, so 6 times 9 gives me 54. Y squared times y cubed gives me y to the 5th. And then 3 times 12 is 36. Y times y to the 6th is y to the 7th. All right, let's see. 54 and 36 are both divisible by 9. All right, so if I divide that by 9, it gives me a 6. All right, divide this by 9, it gives me a 4. And then y to the 5th over y to the 7th, I got 5 in the top, so I'll get rid of those 5. And I get rid of 5 of these, which still leaves me with 2. So I got y squared. And I got a 6 and a 4. That still reduces. So they're divisible by 2. So 6 divided by 2 is 3. 4 divided by 2 is 2. And then the y squared. So I get my answer, 3 over 2y squared. All right. And then the next one. Now see, this is when you want to factor everything out and then simplify it. All right, that's the easiest way to do this. So we'll leave the 3x, can't factor that out. 4x minus 12, we can factor a 4 out of that. So I put the 4 out front, divide that by 4, it leaves me with x. Divide that by 4, it leaves me with the 3. Times x squared minus 9, that's the difference of 2 squares. You guys should get used to that. All right, so again, we put our x's in the front, signs are different, and then the square root of 9 gives us 3 in the back. And then bring down our x. All right, so this is how you want to do this problem. You want to factor everything out. Now we can cancel out. What we do is we cancel out 1 for 1. one in the top and one in the bottom. So we have an x minus 3 in the top, x minus 3 in the bottom. We can cancel those out. We have an x in the bottom here and an x in the top here. We can cancel those out. So now in the top, I still have a 3 and an x plus 3. So I get 3 times x plus 3. And then the bottom, that's canceled out. So I only have a 4. And that's my answer. All right. All right, see one more of those. 4x, can't do anything with it. 3x plus 15, I can factor a 3 out. So again, I put the 3 out front. Divide this by 3, leaves us with x. Plus, divide this by 3, it leaves us with 5. All right. Times x squared minus 25. Again, the difference of two squares. So, two sets of parentheses. X is in the front. Signs are different. And the square root of 25 is 5. And then that x goes in the bottom. So again, we're going to cancel 1 for 1. 1 in the top, 1 in the bottom. So that x plus 5 and that x plus 5, gone. This x and this x, gone. All right, so in the top, I'm left with a 4 and an x plus 5. So 4 times x minus 5, sorry. Over, and the only thing I have in the bottom is that 3. And that is my answer. All right, and then you have another you try. I'll tell you what, I'll stop right there. And the only thing I'm going to have you do for homework is all the you tries. So you got 11 you try problems, and that's it for today. All right, we'll just do those 11 you try problems for homework. All right, and that's it.